my name is Molly. I am a fan of the brick, and today I'm going to be discussing one of the most scandalous, controversial issues on social media right now, the LEGO Masters finale. If you have not yet watched the LEGO Masters US finale, Season 1, you can stop watching this video right now because spoiler alert. So what I wanted to talk about today was why I think the judges ultimately chose Tyler and Amy, their build, in the finale over Boone and Mark's and over Sam and Jessica's. But in order to talk about that, I think I need to kind of go back and talk about master builds in general. So a master build or a freestyle build in the LEGO community is sort of a competition or a game where we do this at LEGO conventions. We get 20 to 40 people in a room. They're all given the same set or two sets, which they can combine. And then they have an hour to an hour and a half to build something using only those pieces. There's the time constraint, and then there's also the constraint of having only these two sets to work with. Everybody's got the exact same pieces. Now, I attended my first Bricks Cascade in 2012. I've done a video talking about that. And I watched that master build happen, and I was very impressed by what I saw. You know, I saw a lot of people building spaceships and cars and things, but then I saw some really like, whoa, that's different, that's cool. I participated in my first master build at BrickCon 2012. Didn't win. Bricks Cascade 2013 was a runner-up. BrickCon 2013 was a very interesting year when we did the freestyle build. I don't know how many people actually know about this or remember this, because it's not like it's secret, but okay. So back in 2013, there was a documentary being filmed, a LEGO documentary, which ended up being called Beyond the Brick, a LEGO Brickumentary, and you can find that pretty much anywhere online for a couple of dollars. And they came to BrickCon in 2013 to film things there. And Jamie Berard was there at BrickCon in 2013. He was there to reveal the set that he had designed, the Parisian restaurant. And it was this big deal to have a guy that's actually from LEGO there. What a lot of people don't remember is that he was actually one of the judges for the master build that happened there that year. So that was actually a year where they had people working in teams. I was with my friend Jean, and we built some sort of like alien invasion thing. Totally didn't win, but I saw what did win. And I saw some of the other master builds, and I started noticing something. Like, I started noticing as I went along, year after year, convention after convention, which builds seemed to do better in this master build competition. And I kind of narrowed it down to three factors. And I'll call these Molly's completely subjective 3 factors for having the best master build. I did win one time. Number 1, your build should be different from everybody else's build. I know that sounds obvious, but I have noticed a lot of times when we start these games, everybody opens their sets, they look at all the pieces, and their first thought is, I guess I'll build a spaceship. I see a lot of spaceships and rocket ships and robots come out of master builds, and it's like, cool, if you're an expert at building those things, go right ahead. But here's the deal. 95% of the other people are going to be also building a robot or a spaceship, and yours is not going to stand out. Not always, just depends on who's judging, but it seems to me like if yours is different, you have a better chance. Number 2, your mock should tell a story. Now this one's hard because a lot of the times in the master build competition, you build your mock and you set it on the table, and then you have to leave while the judges look at all the mocks, and you're not there to be able to tell your story, so your mock kind of has to speak for itself. So this can be a really tough one. And if you've just built a robot, or if you've just built a rocket ship, what's the story there? I've seen them win occasionally, like when they're really, really well built, but most of the time something that's just a sculpture is just kind of overlooked because it's not telling a story. It just is what it is. So different tells a story on its own. And number 3, it's got to be instantly recognizable, especially when it's a master build where there's 30 or 40 participants and the judges are only spending a few seconds looking at your build. They're not studying it from like every angle and being like, what is this mock trying to say? No, they're judging it instantly. And so they need to see what it is. And so if you build something kind of like abstract, it's not gonna cut it. So one year at a master build, I built this cool like workout gym with treadmills and bikes and everything, and I thought it was pretty cool. But the thing was, you really couldn't tell what it was unless you really looked at it closely and were like, oh yeah, that kind of looks like it. They weren't going to spend more than 5 seconds looking at my mock. They weren't going to spend the time trying to figure out what I was going for. They just moved on. And what I found is, usually for those contests, the winning mock is a mock that managed to do all 3 of those things. Different, tells a story, and is instantly recognizable because you only get a few seconds to capture the judge's attention. Now that leads me into the finale of LEGO Masters and what the heck happened. So our top 3 teams were Tyler and Amy, and they built this tower with a bird on top, a hawk or an eagle or something, and it was protecting its nest, and there was this lush landscape all around the bottom of the tower, paths and all kinds of cool things. And Mark and Boone built a building which was like art studios. Each story of the building had different art represented. There were some interactive elements. There was people spraying paint on the side of the building, so there was splashes of color. It was beautiful. It was an ode to creativity, and I'm all for that. And then Sam and Jessica built a peacock with beautiful feathers, and if you turned it around, you could see there was a monkey, and he had a sewing machine, and he was making a hat, and he plucked one of the feathers off of the peacock and was using that to make his hat. And that was really cute. So as the end of the episode started rolling on, I was like, I wonder who they're going to pick, because all 3 of these builds are really quite good. But here's the thing. Sam and Jessica, I loved the peacock, I loved the monkey, I loved the whole thing. I just wish you had a couple more hours, because I felt that that mock just needed something more. And what I would have done, and I'm not saying like, if I was there, I would do it this way, because obviously you guys were under a lot of stress and pressure, and of course the time restraints, so whatever. But I felt that if you had had the time to build like a base for the peacock and the monkey to stand on, maybe a base that even slowly rotated so that we could see the whole thing. I don't know if the rules prohibited that or whatever, but I think that if that peacock had been standing on a Lego kind of base that you had created with, 3-dimensional, and if it had rotated so that we could see the front of the peacock and then the back of the peacock without having to move our bodies, that would have taken it up to 100%. But I understand that, So that left Tyler and Amy's and Boone and Mark's. Now, of course, I love Boone and Mark, and I wanted them to win. But I felt that the 2 mocks really were neck and neck. They were both really good. They were both different. Different not only from each other, but also different from things that the teams had built before. And did they tell a story? Yeah, they both told a story. Boone and Mark's was the story of a decrepit building that the artists had taken over. They were making it bright and shiny again. Tyler and Amy's was the story of a bird protecting its young in the nest from a monster. Third thing, instantly recognizable. And that's kind of where I think Tyler and Amy edged out Boone and Mark, because Boone and Mark's was so spectacularly creative. We'd never seen anything like it before, so when people approach it, they're gonna be like, huh? Oh, it's an artist studio, but it's gonna take a minute. Whereas Tyler and Amy, when you approach it, you're like, oh, there's a tower and a bird, and that's cool. It's just, I think that Tyler and Amy's had just this slight advantage of instant recognizability. When you're walking up to it, you see it, you know what's happening. Boone and Mark's would take a little longer. It was still amazing, but from my experience with master builds and what goes into sort of the judging, that's why I think Jamie and Amy went with Tyler and Amy's. So that's my thing. That's what I think. I wish it had gone differently, but I can see why it went that way. And so I really hope people stop complaining about it. Also, some people are like, oh, Tyler did all the building and Amy didn't do anything or whatever. It's like, hello, this is called Lego Masters. Like, it's for teams. Tyler and Amy were a great team. And maybe their Lego mastery skills are not here, even, like Boone and Mark seem to be, but they worked really well as a team. Surprisingly, Sam and Jessica worked really well as a team because they didn't even know each other before the show. When the first episode was on, I wasn't paying attention and I thought they were a couple. And I was like, oh no, they're fighting. The couple's fighting. But yeah, they were total strangers, and then they just started working together on the show, and amazing. Anyways, that's the end of that. That's what I just want to talk about. Okay, I really wish the finale had gone differently, but I'm also not terribly angry about it because I get it. And it makes sense to me why Tyler and Amy got picked, although I would have picked Boone and Mark. Alright, so thank you so much for watching this video. Don't forget you can subscribe to my channel somewhere. You can also follow me on Instagram or Twitter as Mo Make Stuff Up. Bye!